Good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, children of all ages. It's Vin Robinson here with another Coast to Coast sport moment. And today's moment is a sport that's very dear to me, the sport of football. And through that connection, we've connected with a dear friend of mine, James West. We're here to represent HBCU colleges, the connection that it has to these athletes, and how it propels them to go further. Some of these athletes have had great success in two leagues, the NFL, the CFL, and even post-play, they have continued to carry through with the game life after football, and it's still affecting players. It's contagious. It's awesome. The religion of football is something that continues to grow, and we're here to talk about the pipeline. So lay back, chill out, relax, pop that corn, and kick it with us here on the Coast to Coast Sports Show.
You're watching the Coast to Coast Sports Show.
But I think that's the reason why success. Most of the guys who got a chance to go to the National Football League from the black colleges made it, and you never heard a word of any derogatory stuff about them because how they was raised at that school and the coaches. And they know they was driven hard. I know when I went to Tampa as a rookie in 1978, and you get your practice schedule, and you got an hour and 45 minutes to practice. Coach Rob was 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Right.
And they had it where you got your 7-on-7, then you got the run game, then you got 1-on-1, and I'm done. That bothers me because I ain't had nothing else to do. So I used to run sprints after practice because that's what we did. They want to know why I was on the other field running. I say running. We used to run 20-40s before practice and 10-100s after practice. Coach Rob used to always tell us that if we get beat, we're not gonna be tired.
Right.
And he said a whole lot of things too.
HBCU coach thing. That must be an HBCU coach thing. And Walter Highsmith, we may get beat, but we're gonna be in better shape than the other team. I'm like, what kind of philosophy is that?
That's a TSU tradition.
Man, that dude used to have us running those full, gas with down back time.
Hey, Mike, we didn't have an HBCU coach at Texas Southern this past year. This is the first time we went over.
I saw that. Don't rub it in. Don't remind me of that. But I'll never forget Highsmith talking about we're going to run these gaspers until somebody quits, until somebody give their scholarship back. And you're thinking, no way, man. They ain't going to do that. And when you run too many, you don't even count anymore. Right. And he's talking about hands on the line, where everybody got their hands on the line and on both knees because you could barely stand up. Pushing the sled around the track.
Shoot. And when I was in school, the quarterbacks had to push the two-man sled. We had to push the two-man sled. We did all them grass monkey drills. I mean, we did everything. Quarterback
as a D lineman, I'm happy to see y'all got a little dirty.
Shoot.
Hey, Doug said something earlier, Doug, when you was talking about coach. He said, Doug, your coach said that if you played at Texas Southern, you can play anywhere. I mean, I'm sorry. I wish I was Texas Southern, I was saying. He said you play at Grambling, you can play anywhere. Because there was a whole lot of great people on that campus. It really was.
But that was his mentality. He felt like, hell, if you can play at Grambling, hell, you can play anywhere. And we believe that. And I think all the black coaches at the HBCU back then, that was their mentality. Because if you got a chance to go there because of what you have been through as working there, you're going to make it up there because it's a lot easier what they do up there compared to what you've been through here.
Yeah.
Right. What was the most, was there any time that you just felt like you was at the wrong place? Any one of y'all?
Man, I one time when my freshman year, my redshirt freshman year, when I thought I should have been the starting quarterback, and they had a guy named Joe Como. Joe Como, bless his soul, he gone on. Joe Como, we played against Northwestern State. And we ended up winning 14-13, but Joe played terrible, threw about 4 interceptions. And I didn't even get in the game because I thought I had a great spring. But that lets you know, you think of what you did, and think it's all depends on what somebody else thinks you did, right? So I told my oldest brother, I said, man, I'm quitting. I'm going to Southern University. I ain't playing here no more. And at that time, you could transfer without having to sit out.
Wow.
So I went the next week. I decided I was quitting, and I didn't go to practice. And Coach Hobby used to be the basketball coach, Fred Hobby. You know, him and Rob, they call each other left. And he came to my room. I was up there looking at the Big Valley. I never will forget them balls, the Big Valley. And he walked in. He said, hell, what the hell you doing, boy? I said, Coach, I quit. He said, the hell you gonna quit? He said, get your behind. So I went down the field and I did the Dwayne Thomas. I don't know if you know who Dwayne Thomas was.
Yeah, the running back.
the silent guy who didn't talk, right?
Right.
So I went down, practice was halfway over. And I said to myself, you know what? I ain't talking to nobody. And so I went down there and didn't say nothing to anybody. What happened was nobody said anything to me. So I said, well, shoot, this ain't working. Because I was waiting. I was waiting on somebody to come to me to ask me what was wrong, right? so after
like
that,
they knew your plan already.
Yeah. So went to the dining hall, and Coach Sterling, the defensive line coach, came to me and said, Coach Rob wanted to see you. So I went down there, man, and Coach Rob was in the dressing room. I went down and said, hey, Coach. He said, hey, Cap. You know, Coach never cursed. With my red shirt, never heard Coach Rob say a cursing word. He said, hey, Cap, what you doing? I said, Coach, you know, I'm not playing. I don't want to transfer to self. He said, hell, Cap, you ain't going to transfer here and come back and beat me. He said, the only reason why you ain't playing, because, hell, if I put you in there, them other boys ain't going to never get it back. I didn't understand where he was coming from. He telling me. I'm saying, well, Coach, what do you mean? He said, hell, your time coming. And lo and behold, we played Tennessee State, and the boy broke his wrist.
Wow.
In the 5th game of the year, broke his wrist, and I was still a third-team guy now. I had the guy named Terry Brown who could flat-out chunk it. And Terry went in there and couldn't move the team. He said, hell, what that William boy? I ain't even have my helmet. I didn't even know what my helmet was. so I get the helmet. I go in there. We end up beating Tennessee like 21-7. And from that day on, from the 5th game of the year, my freshman year, I was a starter.
Wow.
And,
what was James Harris at this time? What was Shaq at? Was Shaq before you,
Shaq
right?
in the league. Shaq way ahead of me now. Shaq.
Yeah, they're in the league already. They're playing for the Rams, bro.
So Shaq was like the first Pro Bowl that we want to talk about black for. I mean, he was the first like Pro Bowler, right, as a black person, especially
Shaq was the first MVP in the Pro Bowl, black quarterback.
Wow. So did you learn anything from him? Did you get a chance to watch him play, or did you just know about it?
Shaq is probably one of the biggest reasons why I'm here, because you know Grambling players came back every year. Willie Brown, Buck Buchanan, Ernie Ladd, players came back every spring, and Coach would stop spring practice and let them boys take over and talk.
Right.
And Shaq was the one guy that talked about playing a game, and not one time he ever said anything about being black. See, Coach Rob never said anything about being black, that you can't make it because you're black.
Right.
Coach Rob has always been one of them guys, hell, Cat, if it's in America, you can do it in America. Hell, don't come back here talking about because you was black, because, hell, you got to do it. Right. So from a positive standpoint, I think that's what black colleges done for me more than anything. It will give me that confidence that if it can be done, it will be done.
Right. Let me ask you real quick. Did somebody come on campus? I'm sorry, D. Go ahead, D. Go ahead.
Yeah, how much is how important is knowing your history? Because we know what history does, because it gives you the information you need to understand where you are in your present date and what you can do for the future. And so, how important, as far as you guys' career, was history, knowing your history, prepared you for?
For me, I knew, when I went to Grambling, I knew all the guys who had played there. I thought that was important. First of all, I was lucky because my older brother played baseball there. He was on the national team. They went to the national back in 61, 62, and 63. So I was going to Grambling when I was like 10, 11 years old. And I didn't choose to go to Grambling. My mama chose me to go to Grambling.
Okay, yeah.
Because when Coach Rob called, y'all don't understand this, but we had a party line where I lived in this little neighborhood. We had a 12 party line, 12 people party line. You know, with that old Southern Bell.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly, Louisiana.
Zachary Louisiana.
Was it you dial 1 or something like that, and you get the next
you
person?
pick that phone up and Miss Mary or Miss Matt or Miss Roach. The first thing you say, this must be Robert, boy. Put that phone down, boy. Boom, you have to put that phone down. So late one night, I was asleep. My mom, bless her soul, came to me and said, hey, I just got through talking to Coach Rob. He's on the phone, and I want to let you know you're going to Grambling. So she wakes me up. I wanted to go to Southern because I wanted them to come, 15 minutes from the house.
Right.
Going to Grambling, said, yeah, Coach on the phone. I said, why you say I'm going to Grambling? She said, because he said you're going to go to class, you was going to go to church, and you was going to graduate. And that was enough for her. I was done. That's the best decision my mom ever made for me, other than bringing me here.
It's funny you said that, because when I eventually did make 18, all them avenues you just talked about is the thing that gave me the same idea about if I had to do it over again, I would.
Yeah. How about you, Mike?
Well, for me, I went to Texas Southern pretty much. It's crazy how things happen in your life, and there's got to be, the man upstairs got to have a plan for you.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple. Because I am not that smart. I am not that clever. I am not that, wasn't that, physically talented in my eyes as an athlete or anything like that. But after that 1 year of high school at Westbury, I was only in Westbury for 5 months. Yeah. Flew in like June, July, played football, got a scholarship offered to Cisco Junior College, actually. Signed the scholarship and went back to Germany in that December and graduated high school over there. But when I came back to go to Cisco, I didn't want to go. It was up in the middle of nowhere, but I had to. But I had a few days before I had to go up, hanging out with one of my buddies from high school. He's like, yeah, man, and I got to go over to Texas Southern. I got a scholarship over there. You want to go with me? And I'm like, yeah. He go, come on, man. Why don't you go here? Why are you going to go all the way up there to Cisco? Just come over here and talk to Coach. All right. I literally go over there.
Who was that?
Walter Highsmith looks at me and goes, can you run? Let me look at you. I was like, yeah, I'm running. He said, how much you weigh? I weigh whatever, 2. Said, okay, you good. Okay, you good. Now, this is what people don't realize. TSU 4 years, I never signed a scholarship paper. I don't know what happened.
We do.
What?
We know what happened.
I don't know how I was in school. I don't know what was going on. All I know is I never signed a scholarship paper for TSU.
Hey, people are getting in trouble. People are getting in trouble nowadays.
Nowadays you getting trouble. Hey, don't ask, don't tell. I don't want to know.
Exactly.
I don't want to know.
We both can tell that story.
But yeah, so it's crazy that I was supposed to be at Cisco, and I just never went. I just went over there to TSU. Never showed up, never did nothing. And then I'm at TSU figuring it out, man. And I'll never forget the Oilers every once in a while would come over and practice on our field. I used to look at them and go, oh, I think I can do that. But I was such a fan of just football in general. And then when you're at a HBCU, you learn the history of the HBCU, because I'm coming from Germany. I don't know history about nothing for the most part when it comes to sports. But I quickly learned you need to know, because this is a different league. This is a different type of grind. For me, I knew more about Grambling because of their history and all their great players, and Doug and everyone else. I knew about Jackson State with Jackie Slater, and I knew about Walter Payton and Jerry Wright. You hear about all the greats who come out, all the Hall of Famers. And that's the amazing thing about it, is if you really dive into the history of HBCUs, I was amazed at the amount of Hall of Famers.